Amari Niblack might be leaving Texas, but he's not leaving the Lone Star State. How many times have we seen a Texas player go to Texas A&M? But let's go ahead and grade the move. Welcome on into SEC Unfiltered. He's Dave Shumate. I'm Cole Thompson. And today we talk about the Longhorn becoming an Aggie, still being a part of the Lone Star Showdown tradition. Make sure you like the video, hit the ring notification, and subscribe to the channel because we talk college football every single day. Download the podcast version of the show wherever you get your podcast listening systems. Follow us on the socials. Link in the description. Follow Dave at Dave Shumate SEC. Follow me at Mr. Cole Thompson. And check out all of our great work found at SECUnfiltered.com. This episode is powered by FanDuel. Visit FanDuel.com/SECU to join today and get started with $300 in bonus bets when you win your first $5 bets. So lay down $5, win that bet, get $300 back in bonus bets. Go to FanDuel.com/SECU to get a chance for $300 in bonus bets with your first $5 bet. Dave, I don't know what to make of this move. He's a former superstar talent prospect, went to Alabama, didn't fit there, goes to Texas, moves down the pecking order. Juan Davis, Gunnar Helm passed him up. But Holman Wiggins is in College Station. Holman Wiggins was a big reason why he went to Tuscaloosa in the first place. And Colin Klein, the one thing that we know about his system, they like to utilize athletic tight ends. So maybe this is a better fit, but we're really going off a projection at this point when it comes to Niblack, which is kind of a downtrodden feeling when you remember what he was coming out of high school.
Yeah, this is one for me. I mean, it's like we always used to say when I used to work in the industry, if you have all the resources you have at the University of Alabama, you have all the resources you had at the University of Texas, and you just can't make it work, it's a little bit of you. It is. I mean, it's not like we're coming up from the group of five here and like, hey, they don't have the strength and conditioning program or the nutrition program, or hey, we don't have enough coaches to meet with for him to go improve and get better within the system. I mean, Alabama had unlimited staff, Texas had unlimited staff, tons of resources, the best opportunities, resources you could have. I don't know. This kind of feels like a lazy take to me. I don't know. I'm not real jacked about this. You get that many chances at the premiere. I mean, it'd be like getting a job at Amazon and Google, and the guy keeps getting fired. And it's just like, well, we'll go hire this guy. It's like, well, I mean, those are premier companies, man. What's this guy messing up with? Because it's not the company. So this is one where the grade may surprise me or surprise some people when we get to it. I don't know. I think this is where college football misses a lot. It's not the talent or the potential talent you saw at Lakewood High School outside of St. Petersburg with our guy, Amari Niblack. It's doing the character evaluation. Does Amari Niblack love football? I don't know that, but I'm concerned if the question's been asked.
It's not entirely wrong, but you have to remember this kid coming out was the number 4 athlete in the country. He had offers from Florida, Florida State, Georgia, Georgia Tech, LSU, Maryland, several others. He went to Alabama. I think that the big thing with him is that he's an explosive wide receiver that can be an inside kind of slot guy. So you're calling him a tight end. He's really like what you would say is Kirkland brand at its very lowest Kyle Pitts. You're not asking to block. You're asking to be a receiver. Texas A&M was going after Trey Wallace from Penn State. He committed to Ole Miss at the very last buzzer, ended up not even going down to College Station. So this was like a pivot move. The tight end play, if you know anything about the Colin Klein system, is essential. You got to be able to work the intermediate part of the field, and you have to have a security blanket in the middle. That might be Niblack. So from a standpoint of scheme fit, I really do like this move. But also, I'm going based off of projections from what he was when he was in high school. In 3 years of college football, he has less than 1,000 receiving yards. His best season came in 2023 when he had 20 catches for 327 yards. I mean, I want to see more from this kid. And the big thing is that the tight end position down in College Station is kind of a wide open race. They brought in Mike O'Reilly, the transfer from Auburn. They have some young up-and-comers like Eric Carner, but they don't really have that dude. Thor is still there, but they lose Donovan Green at the transfer portal. They lose Trey Watson to eligibility. Maybe this could be a good fit. I know that they're going to utilize him. At least they're going to try to get him on the field. But now it kind of feels like it's in his hands. Everything moving forward is about him. Does he want to be out there doing the extra reps? Does he want to be out there putting in an effort? Does he want to be in the weight room at 5 a.m? Because on skill set wise, he may end up being one of the better pass catchers that Marcel Reed will work with in 2025. But he has to want it. We can't force you to want it. It's like whenever you talk to somebody saying, I want to make changes in my life. Well, the first person that has to want to make the change is the internal one. If you don't want to do that, you're going to be in the same rut that you already are.
Yeah, and I think most of like the Dalton Schoens and stuff like that, most of the tight ends that we're used to seeing coming from the K-State, the Colin Klein system from Kansas State. I'm looking at it right now. They're usually more H-backs. Like this doesn't fit him at all. So I mean, again, it's early. I mean, we're sitting here in January talking about this. So we still got a whole spring, him going through a winter conditioning program. How does he fit in this offense? I mean, traditionally, he tells me Colin Klein's never had someone like this. You mentioned it a little bit, Bear. Leans a little bit more towards a wide receiver than he does your traditional like H-back. Again, that's not going to be him. I'm interested to see how this offense just totally develops overall. And maybe you might ask Mike Elko, maybe ask Colin Klein, maybe ask Holman Wiggins. Dude, we're just taking a run. If it works out, it works out. If it doesn't, it's whatever. So I would be interested to see what the expectations were here. But again, I don't think he's a great system fan. I mean, I don't think I've ever seen Colin Klein utilized. Because I was in the Big 12 a little bit, we would see them, and K-State never had guys like this. So it'd be interesting. I don't know. Maybe they tweak the offense up. That's very fair. They can go study, do some professional development, maybe add some wrinkles. But yeah, getting him right, spring will be key to him from a mental mindset standpoint of like, hey man, like this is kind of your last chance. It's ride or die now, man. You've had chances at Alabama, Texas, and again, I mean, he's behind Gunnar Helm this year, one of the best tight ends in the league. I get it, but a lot of teams dumped him at 2. Those 2 guys were pretty different. I don't know. I had my reservations. If you just tell me you were taking a waiver on him and you just wanted to see because you think he was too talented to just let him walk and not give an opportunity, when you need some tight ends at A&M, I can agree with that as well, but I don't know. Me personally, I don't know.
You've added in an entire revamped wide receiver room, whether that be a tight end, whether that be a wide receiver, Casey Concepcion, Mario Craver. When he does elect to come back, Micah Hudson, you still have Micah Riley coming on in. So Marcel Reed is not going to be barren or wanting or pleading for wide receiver help. The problem is that someone has to hit, and it has to hit at multiple positions. And the place that you should hit is FanDuel, because FanDuel is powered with SEC Unfiltered from the first whistle to the final drive. FanDuel takes the NFL playoffs to the next level. And right now, new customers can bet $5 and get $300 back in bonus bets if you win. That's $300 in bonus bets if you win your first $5 bet. The FanDuel app gives you everything you need from live bets, same game parlays, and so much more. Plus, when you win, you get paid instantly. What's not to love? Just visit FanDuel.com/SECU to join today and get started with $300 in bonus bets. That's FanDuel.com/SECU. Make this playoff an unforgettable one with FanDuel, the official sportsbook partner of the NFL. Must be 21 plus in select states. For Kansas in affiliation with Kansas Star Casino, or 18 plus and present in DC. First online real money wager only. $5 first deposit is required. A bonus issue as non-withdrawable bonus bet, which expires 7 days after receipt. Restrictions apply. See terms at sportsbook.fanduel.com. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER or visit fanduel.com/RG. Call 1-888-789-7777 or visit ccpg.org/chat in Connecticut or visit mdgamblinghelp.org in Maryland. Hope is here. Visit gamblinghelplinema.org or call 800-327-5050 for 24/7 support in Massachusetts, or call 1-877-8-HOPE-NY or text HOPE-NY in New York. All right, Dave, let's go ahead and grade the move. Elite, all league, winnable plus, winnable minus. Surprisingly, we may be making a debut on the show today with one of these players, especially with Amari Niblack.
Yeah, so our listeners before, we've done some A&M videos, so we should have some people coming back here as well. So again, this is the Kirby Smart, Dan Lanning scale, dumbed down to an extent from the Bill Belichick, Nick Saban critical factors. So this is just more of terms here that's easier just to, instead of calculating numbers. But so here it is, had it from back in my time working in personnel, but elite, all league, I'll categorize kind of those in the same category to get through the explanation a little quicker. Travis Hunter, Walter Nolan to the world for the A&M fans out there. The dudes that are dudes, we know for sure going to probably be heard their name called in one of the first 32 picks on a Thursday night of the NFL draft. These are those kind of guys, at least you're projecting. Winnable plus, this is where majority of your team could be. If you're batting 50, 60% when you're grading your roster, or when your team's grading the roster twice a year like they should be, and you're every 10 players you're hitting 50, 60% at winnable plus, you're doing a good job evaluating not only their ability as players, but does he love football? A lot of the characters, external stuff, the intangible type stuff you can't teach. Winnable minus, don't look at the minuses. You can win with, not because. They need to be surrounded by other good players. Maybe you're a really good player in your winnable minus, but you got to be surrounded by a really smart guy. Like I always talked about when I was at Alabama, Barrett Jones would always line up right next to DJ Fluker. DJ Fluker's first year starting, so he could tell him what to do. That was on point of emphasis. So wide receiver, offensive line, defensive line, running back at times. A lot of winnable minuses in there because it's more of a committee approach. For me, Amari Niblack, again, I always say it. I think this is where college football messes up a ton from a college football standpoint of the coaches' missed evaluations. We get too caught up in like, hey, that guy's so talented, I can change him. Because, again, you got massive competitors that work in this sport, massive egos and pride. They think they're the one that can fix him. And we see it in the NFL all the time. It's why people take a risk on quarterbacks. But I think digging deep and finding people's why, what drives a guy like Amari Niblack, you're going on his third school here, been at premier schools like Alabama and Texas, where you have every reason not to fail. And he has so far. Does he love football? Or is it just something he's always been good at? That's what you see with a lot of these guys. Does he just like the recruiting game, just getting bounced around? Dude, this is a guy, if I'm the head coach, if I'm the general manager, again, depending on what school you're at, not all general managers make all personnel calls at the college level. You're consulting with the head coach. I'd be telling the head coach, I think it's someone we don't touch. We don't touch. I mean, to me, this guy, he's not just a jag. He's not just a guy from a talent standpoint. I think anybody can tell you the guy's got talent. Mine's more of the pulling the layers back. I wouldn't touch this guy just because I'm like, I mean, it's not like we're getting him in mid-tier programs, guys. He's had tons of opportunities. So I'm going to go jag here. Maybe a little wild here. I just wouldn't touch Amari Niblack after what I've heard and stuff from him with the previous two spots.
It's winnable minus because if I need a tight end, I don't know if he'll be the best fit for this system, but I need a tight end. I know that I need to get better when it comes to the weaponry around Marcel Reed. I need a tight end. I know that he has had experience playing in different systems. I need a tight end. I need more weapons. I need to make sure that there is no stone left unturned next year. And if we hit, we hit. I'm okay with that. If we miss, we miss. The problem is that if he hits somewhere else, and let's just say it's at South Carolina, when they come down to College Station next year, and he's the reason they win the football game. Okay, well, now I'm screwed. And maybe I lost the college football playoff berth. What if he goes to LSU and you're playing in Death Valley and you lose the game because if he has 125 yards? What if he goes to Arkansas and he balls on out the first time that you're not playing in Jerry World? So I'm willing to take the risk by bringing him on in because it's going to hurt another SEC team while helping me, but I don't have a lot of high hopes. If he ends up being anything more than a guy that catches 30 balls for 500 yards, okay, that's a massive win. And that's over 2 years because he still has 2 more years of eligibility. It reminds me a lot of the Jahleel Billingsley situation. Jahleel Billingsley decides to go transfer to Texas, doesn't work on out, not really a good fit for what the culture was at the time, so we never hear from him again. Is that going to be Amari Niblack? I want to believe that there is still a lot left in the tank. I want to believe that from a talent standpoint, he could easily become a fixture of this offense, especially for Marcel Reed, as A&M looks to actually make that jump into that 10-2 range. But I'm not going to go into the year and act like that I believe he can be that guy. What I'm going to do is I'm going to say, if he ends up being anything more than what was the initially projected, it's an automatic win for our team. Besides that, just get me 20 or 30 receptions, get me 300 yards, find the end zone 2 or 3 times. I'll call it a day. Hopefully that's good enough for us to be able to be a 9-10 win team in 2025.
No, I agree, Bear. And that's something you got to have conversations. You bring up a good point. Like, you got to be okay when you're talking about these evaluations, if we're taking or not taking. Like, hey, guys, you'll know he may go somewhere else. We may play him. He may have, maybe not against us, but against other teams, he has success. We have to be okay with that, letting him walk. Those are conversations. So, no, I can respect the winnable minus. I don't know. I just wouldn't touch him. But you're right. They need some tight ends. I don't really think he meshes with what we've seen traditionally with Colin Klein, but maybe they'll make some tweaks heading into 25.
Let us know in the comment section down below. Amari Niblack staying in the Lone Star State, but going on over to Texas A&M. What do you think of the move? Like, review, hit subscribe. Make sure you follow us on all the social channels. TikTok, Facebook, Instagram, Twitter at SEC Unfiltered. Follow Dave at Dave Shumate SEC. Me at Mr. Cole Thompson. And check out all of our great work found at SECUnfiltered.com. Until next time, folks, 12th man. You got a player. What type of player? None of us, I think even Mike Elko doesn't know. Gig 'em. Peace.